All right, when finding a regression line or line of best fit, or a correlation coefficient, there's two different ways you can do this, but you have to start by entering in your data into Desmos. So in a table, you're gonna hit the plus sign, go to table, and then enter in those points. So in our guided example, we have screen time versus sleep. So 5.8, 2, 8, 6.5, 5, 3, 7, 7, 4.8, 1, 8.5, 4.5, 6, 2.5, 7.5, 6, 5.5, and then 4, 6.5. So then now that I have my table entered, you can actually hit this little plus sign and it will actually zoom your graph in on the scatter plot. So just by looking at the scatter plot, we can see that it has a negative association. So it's going down, our trend line is going down. And it seems to be pretty strong. It forms somewhat of a straight line. So we're going to check to see if the correlation coefficient kind of matches that. So you can type in the following equation, y1, and then the little squiggly sign. So if you're wondering where that is on your keyboard, it's above the tab on the left-hand side. So you have to hit shift and then that little squiggly line, mx1 plus b. And so the reason I'm directing you to this equation first is because if we have a linear correlation, by typing in this equation, you actually get the line of best fit. So remember that your linear equation is y equals mx plus b. We're just using the x1 and y1 from our table. And so what you can do is now you can write your line of best fit. So you can take your m value, copy and paste it down, times x plus your b value. So mx plus b is your linear equation. And notice that it colors right over that green one. So they are the same line. So this gives you your actual line of best fit. Okay. This screen also gives you your correlation coefficient, and that's this R value here. So our correlation coefficient is negative 0.99. That's just about as close to -1 or 1 as you're going to get. So that indicates a very strong correlation. And since our line is going down, it's a negative correlation. So we have a strong negative correlation. Okay, so typically I will direct you to do this equation because when we are dealing with correlation, we want to know the line of best fit. And then further into the rest of this unit, we will be using this residuals. And so again, this is just easier because it gives you more information. There is another way that you can do this. You can go down to the next line. You can either go through the functions and find correlation, or just type in CORR. And again, we are using x1 and y1 as our variables. And notice that these two numbers match. So you can use just the correlation function to find the correlation between the values. And if that's all you're looking for, that's great. You can do that because it does give you that strong negative correlation value that was up here. Or you can type in the equation and get more information from that.